That would be it. All
We're
right.
back.
Sorry about that, y'all. We're back.
312's talking 10. We're back. We're talking mad shit about Bill Belichick.
But to answer your question, yes, all Robert Kraft did was hire Belichick. Now, if that is good enough for people, then sure. If that's a good enough reason to do that, to put Kraft in over Belichick, okay, you're entitled to that opinion. But and I'm not saying Kraft doesn't deserve credit for the Patriots dynasty or doesn't he made a great decision. He because remember they had to trade for Belichick. It wasn't like Belichick was just a free guy that they could sign. You know what I mean? Um, they had to make that trade for him. So he saw the foresight to go and get Belichick. So he deserves credit for that. Does that deserve more credit than Belichick? To me, no.
Is he the best NFL coach of all time?
I don't think of other coaches. So I do think there's one thing that kind of digs him is his tree isn't like the Bill Walsh tree, which the Bill Walsh tree sprouts into the what they call the Shanahan McVay tree, which should just be the Mike Shanahan tree, if I'm being if you want to be honest. But Shanahan goes from Belichick, and Belichick had your boy Ben's boy Mike Holmgren that turned
Yep.
into who the hell's the other guy Holmgren trained that came off of Holmgren? I can't remember that right now.
Oh, Andy
But
Andy Reid was under
Andy
Holmgren.
Andy Reid was under well. Andy Reid also, I believe, coached for the Niners, so you could technically say that's all off of Bill Walsh. But you're right.
Yeah.
Andy Reid was off of Holmgren. I think Andy Reid's who I'm thinking of, which is an extension of Holmgren to there. So it all, you know what I mean. So from that standpoint, if you want to say he's not fine, because Vrabel really isn't a well, he played for Belichick, and if you want to say he gets credit for that, sure. But Vrabel didn't cook. Well, I mean, I guess Vrabel went off of Bill O'Brien when Bill O'Brien left for the Texans, which is technically a Bill Belichick disciple. So maybe you could say Vrabel, but outside of that, like how many successful coaches have come from Bill Belichick? Not not a lot. Like Vrabel might be the best one, and you're stretching at Vrabel. And I would say the jury's still out on Mike Vrabel. I think he's a good coach, but is he going to be a great legendary coach? I don't know that yet.
That is an
Like his best
interesting.
claim to fame is Josh McDaniels, and he's a way better offensive coordinator than anything else.
So there's been three first ballot Hall of Fame coaches ever. Do you want to try to name them?
Probably Vince Lombardi.
Nope.
Okay, well then that's a
Shula,
problem.
Shula
Don,
is
I would
one.
say Dan. I was going to say Don Shula.
Shula is one.
Landry.
Yes. Landry is
Okay.
two. And there's one other one.
Mm.
And he's probably from that same time frame, right? They're all older coaches.
I've actually never heard of this guy, and that's probably just because I don't know ball.
Trying to think. It's not
Trying to
like
think
Bud
of
Grant.
Nope.
Um, I don't know.
He shares a first name with Chuck Norris.
Chuck Noll.
Chuck
You've never
Noll.
heard of Chuck Noll?
I told you I don't know ball.
Yeah, dude, it's the
Damn,
Steelers
like
guy,
like
right?
I was
Forever.
not even thinking. I literally popped Chuck Noll popped in my head as a possibility, but I was like, no, Papa had to say he doesn't know him, so I bypassed Chuck Noll. Like you don't know Chuck Noll? Wow.
I've
He's one of
probably
the
heard of him.
he's one of the three head coaches the Steelers have had in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl era.
So Don Shula, Chuck Noll, and Tom Landry are the only first
Hey,
ballot.
hey, 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 hey! Steelers are up to four. Steelers are up to
Okay,
four.
now,
Don't
now,
you disrespect them by only saying three
now,
coaches anymore.
now,
They're they're
now.
they're almost at the full hand. They're almost at the full hand. Yeah, Bill Cowher took over for Chuck Noll. That's
Yep.
how long
And
Chuck Noll was their coach, bro. Like, I'm
Yep.
shocked you've never heard of Chuck Noll.
I
Like,
probably recruited him in Madden 2001 or something. Madden 01. So then the question becomes, is Bill Belichick's record better than those three coaches?
It's not
Yeah,
better than Shula's because Shula still has the all-time
I
coaching
guess.
win.
Yeah.
And then Chuck Knowles, I would assume he has more wins. Well, he has the second most wins, so I would assume he has more wins than Chuck Knowles. Well, he has the second most wins of all time in the regular season, so I would assume that means his record would be better. I mean, he's got more Super Bowls than. Well, Noah's got 4, Shula's got 2, so they're tied, and then I can't remember the other guy's name for right now for the life of me.
Landry.
Landry's got 2 as
Mm,
well. Landry's got 2, or is it 3? No, because Cowgirls only have 5, so Landry's only got 2. So they have
yeah.
8. They have 8 amongst them, and Belichick has 8. 6 as a head coach and 2 more as an assistant. I don't know what they've done as assistants, if they have any as assistants, but they have as head coach. They have total amount that Belichick has total.
Okay, so that's flat out wins, but in terms of postseason success, Bill Belichick's record is better.
Yeah.
Most postseason wins, most division titles, most Super Bowl appearances, second career total victories only to Don Shula, which means he's got better stats than 2 out of the 3 first ballot Hall of Fame head coaches. I think we can all agree he should have been a first ballot head coach into the Hall of Fame. And the NFL voters do not know what the hell they're doing. I'm ready for Nug's hot take, dude.
Oh, dude, I have more breaking news than a hot and like
Stop! You're away from your phone, so you're
I
going all
know, I know.
robot chuckle
Okay,
with you.
I'm coming back. Sorry, it's cold outside. I needed to add an extra layer.
No worries.
Not Josie. Oh, and it's gonna take me a minute to get over there. So, uh, like trying to think, it was probably like 20, 30 minutes before hopping on the pod. I was at the park skateboarding and I fucking dislocated my knee. Um, that hurt really, really bad.
You
Yeah, I would imagine.
dislocated your knee?
Yeah, dude, I've never done that before. I've hurt myself many times, but I've never dislocated my knee. And I forget, I was just trying to trick. I landed funky and my knee freaking. Oh, dude, that was scary to look at, dude. And I was able to get it like popped back in, but now it just hurts.
You popped your own knee back in?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you've
Forget.
popped it out before, popping it back in isn't the hardest
I've,
thing
I've
to do.
I've never done it before. I've definitely hurt my knees before. And I've like hyperextended them before, but never dislocated. That did not feel good. It was
You
freaking like,
pulled at your boy, dude? Just lodged that crap out of place?
yeah, dude, it freaking popped out because I just landed with like my leg back in a weird way, and my knee turned, and it freaking popped out and hurt real bad, dude. I felt like I was doing a freaking impression of a soccer player that just got touched lightly. I was like freaking rolling around on the ground. Freaking a couple of people came and checked on me too, and I was like, I think I'm fine. I was like, it popped because also like it popped out, and like my first thought was literally like, get it back in,
Oh
like
my God.
pop it back in, get this back in, because I could tell like that's what it was. Like when you look at it, and it's they don't look properly attached. Um, but yeah, I popped it back in, rolled around on the ground for a little bit, let it let it feel a little bit better. Came home, freaking down some ibuprofen and iced it, and now it's just sore. Doesn't feel too good.
You need to go to the doctor, bro. Like
I think I'll be all right. Nothing feels weird. Like everything
nothing
feels
feels
fine.
weird.
No, like it's because I looked it up and it was like, yeah, you should to see if you have any fractures or if any ligaments tore or anything like that. But it feels fine in that regard. Like nothing feels off. It just hurts.
Bruh, you are an absolute savage. Did you
Yeah.
lose feeling in the lower extremities?
No, no, I feel fine. Felt fine. Or at least in the moment, all I could think about was how much my knee hurt. So I don't know if I noticed anything else, but
Toes
like
weren't tingly.
no, no, it was like everything else feels fine. It didn't like I don't know, like comparing it to my other knee and like feeling and touching, like nothing feels off.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, that cut my skate session a little short. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going home then. Like,
Were
I
you
guess
at the
this is it for today.
were you at the skate park?
Not really a skate park. There's a little like dog park that's like right around the corner, and they got a basketball court that I usually go skate on.
Were you doing a kickflip?
No, dude, I had been previously, but I was trying to do a freaking the backside shove it, and I just freaking my left leg went to land on the tried to land on the board, and it wasn't the board was not in position for me to land on, and so
Hmm.
my leg slid and knee bent and popped out.
Hyperextension? Like hyperextended bent? Or side
Hyperextended
bent?
that
No,
shit.
no, it was because hyperextended, right? Is like
The
I don't know how
opposite of the way,
yeah,
like
like
if
Yeah,
you're,
like
your knee,
hyperextending
like
would be my arm would keep bending this way, like
yeah.
going
yeah,
down.
yeah. I've done that before. That was not this. This was more like my leg was more off, like my leg was bent off to the side, and like
Off to
there
the
was just
side.
enough force that popped it out.
Got it. Got it.
Oh
You
yeah,
went for
it's
a
super easy to pop especially once you do it once. The bigger issue for you is once you pop it once,
Yeah,
it's so much easier to do it. Like you could be just walking and take a step, and your knee will buckle, and it'll just go pop, and it'll
yep,
just go right
yeah.
out.
So yeah, I'm definitely monitoring it. Will probably take a little bit. Definitely take a little bit of time before I skate again because this hurts too much to freaking jump all over.
Yeah.
Um, but
you
yeah,
went for
dude,
a backside shove it and you backside shoved your knee out of place.
pretty much, dude, shoved right out the backside.
Um,
Then I shoved it back in, dude. Pop shoved it back in. It's a
backside
whole
shove
new,
it to pop shove your knee.
yeah, dude. It's a whole new meaning to the pop shove it, dude.
My Lanta.
Yeah, dude. So that's my breaking injury news. Also, I don't know if you saw it. I got a ESPN notification for it like a few minutes ago that the Seahawks.
You
Sorry, I don't
said
know if that.
Seahawks. You said Seahawks, and then you cut out.
Sorry, Seahawks are selling the team after the Super Bowl.
Oh wow.
What?
Yeah, I didn't click on it, but I got a little ESPN notification that said the Seahawks will like be put up for sale following the Super Bowl.
That's gotta be cap, dude.
Well, a lot of teams are doing that to increase revenue and kind of gauge where the team is worth and all of that stuff. So maybe it's somewhat that. Like I'm interested to see if it's like a small percentage they're trying to sell, or if like they're trying to sell the majority of it, or what they're trying to do.
Per Adam Schefter, the Seattle Seahawks will go up for sale after Super Bowl. Is it what are we on? Is it fucking
60.
60? Jeez. Super Bowl 60, and they could sell for a record for an NFL team price of $7 to $8 billion. Yeah, I guess they're saying that like there's kind of been like years of questions after homeboy died.
Paul Allen.
It's your boy
Dude,
Paul Allen.
this sucks.
Who's been who has owned it since? Is it just the family or what?
Just the
Yeah,
family.
Paul Allen's estate. They're gonna make a bunch of money. I
I
wonder
mean,
who's
it could just be the owners couldn't, the kids couldn't figure it out. It's kind of like the stuff with the Bus family with the Lakers, where they eventually just sold it because there was just too much infighting and too much other BS going on in the background.
6.5
Though I don't know any
billion.
of that if any of that's true, but just that's what it seems like from all the reports about with the Lakers and everything.
It could fetch 7 to 8 billion. I just hope it's fuck it, dude. The Dodgers ownership group. Let's go. Just
Yeah, but they wouldn't be able to do that in football because there's a cap that they have to hit, and there's dead money and all of that stuff and all those things. So like
where there's
they
a
wouldn't be
will,
able.
there's a way, Hollywood. They'll figure
That
it
is
out.
true. That is
You
true.
can you can defer contracts in the NFL.
No, but they all come due, and at some point when a
Yeah.
guy, um, so the Niners used to do it, but they closed. I thought they closed the loophole, but the 49ers did it. Where there's a story about Steve Young when DeBartolo left and the Yorks took over for Steve Young. What they were doing, and I think Brent Jones and a couple other Niners, they had signed them to these contracts, and then when they were done playing, what they did is they were like, oh, it was a 2-year, $20 million extension, but it was 1 million one year and 19 million the next year, and then the next year they would sign a 2-year, $19 million, and it was 1 year, 18 million, and they kept doing that for several years. And when Young, at one point, Steve Young called the Niners, if I remember the story correctly, and he was like, "Hey, like you guys haven't called me to renegotiate this." And the Niners were like, "Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're clearing the books this year." And they literally, there was a year where we were trash. Was one of the Jeff Garcia years, and they like basically all the money that that basically dynasty when we were Steve Young, when we were a really good team, we basically bottomed out and cleared out all our books, and we stopped doing that. So like even in baseball, like it's I mean, I know all that stuff's supposed to count towards the luxury tax eventually for Otani and all those payments, but like I don't know if it works the same way in football. But like all that stuff has to be accounted for, and it hits the cap, which is the difference. In baseball, there's no cap, so it doesn't matter if you're paying 70 million in deferred money a year when there's no cap on what you have to pay.
Yeah. The old saying goes, the fish stinks from the head, and the Seahawks have been competitive for the better part of the last decade, and I just hope that doesn't change when there's a new owner. But it also said there's no clear timeline when a sale is supposed to happen. So I mean, it could be years before a sale actually happens. They're just going to
Yeah.
officially be listening to offers, essentially.
Yeah. It takes some time to come up with $7 billion.
Unless you're
Thing
Elon,
is,
dude.
does Elon
I
even
mean,
have 7 billion?
Dude,
probably. I think he's
he's
got
on
like
pace to be
hundreds
the
of
first
billions.
trillionaire, bro.
I didn't know. I thought he had dipped off of that a while back.
Nah,
No,
he's
I
in the
know like
hundreds of billions.
yeah, because I was like I remember a handful of years ago it was like him, Bezos, all those guys. They were in like almost competing to be the first one to be
Oh
like
yeah,
net worth over like 100 billion, and
yeah.
now it's just freaking insane.
So Elon Musk is as of 619 billion versus to 627 billion. Larry Larry Page is the next closest person according to this list. And you want to guess the gap between the two?
I'm gonna
Five
guess
hundred
a few
billion.
hundred billion.
Few hundred billion is accurate. What'd you say, Nug? It's
Says
close.
five.
No, five is too much. So Larry Page is listed at 270 billion.
That's a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
The gap is bigger than anybody else has.
So we're
Yeah,
talking
because Larry Ellison is listed underneath him, but it's between 248 billion and 383 billion. So if he's at 383, he would be second.
So for Elon to buy the Seahawks would be less than 1% of his own personal wealth.
According to this, yes.
At least his net worth.
He pisses 6 billion in the morning, dude.
I agree. Does Eli want to own a team? Well, here's the thing: if Eli owned the team, you might start to lose fans and everything because everybody hates Elon now.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna start freaking protesting.
The 12th man wouldn't be the 12th man anymore. That's crazy, bro. Okay, you guys need to hit me with your thoughts on the championship round.
Go ahead, no.
Oh, dude, I didn't. Unfortunately, I did not get to really watch much of the games. I caught a little bit of the Pats Broncos, which was a lovely snow game. It was an ugly snow game, but that's what it's all about, dude. That's football. I freaking love that. I love a freaking snowed out, ridiculous, like nobody can do anything type game. And
That looked
then,
miserable.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the point, dude. That's the freaking. And granted, like both of these are cold weather teams, so I feel like they were both fine in that regard. But like, I think that's a part of the home field advantage. So I like Hollywood and I were talking about this the other day. Like, I freaking don't like the idea of like domes in like cold weather play. Honestly, like I get the appeal of domes, but like I would rather not have them. I love open air stadiums. I love like you take a team that's, having a beautiful fall time up in the Midwest and now they've got to go down to like a miserable muggy game in, Tampa or something. Like I love that. Like that's a part of it. It's like Denver's got the elevation and the weather and all that and Pats, Bills, Packers, like these are all teams. So I like the Vikings dome. I think is freaking stupid, dude. Like they should have a freaking open air stadium and actually use that like home field advantage to freaking take advantage of other teams that aren't used to playing in it.
I'm torn. I kind of like the novelty of there being like a snowy game. There have been some legendary snowy games, but I also just want to see quarterbacks like throw for 300 yards with a couple of touchdowns because my gambler heart just wants to bet the over on things, and
Oh,
it
of course.
sucks when it's just a snowy game and your quarterbacks are throwing for less than 100 yards
Yeah,
and
dude,
people
that's
are
when
just
that's when you
slipping and
make
sliding.
bank on that's when you make bank on unders. Then
It's
you
Um,
hammer every passing and receiving prop. You just hammer unders, and like I remember that Bills, was it a Bills Pats game like a handful of years ago. That I think it finished like neither like Mac Jones nor Josh Allen threw for more than like 80 yards,
Mhm.
and it was just like a freaking just running the ball because it was freaking I don't know 30-mile-an-hour winds and literally playing in a blizzard.
Did you watch the game, Hollywood?
yeah, I watch the games.
So hot
Um,
take, Stiddy outplayed Drake May, dude.
Stiddy
Played
definitely did
pretty
not
well.
outplay Drake May. That is not that is that if that's a take you have, that's might be the worst take you've had on this
17
podcast.
for 31, 133
He's
yards,
literally the reason they lost. He's literally
63.
threw a dumb pass that the Patriots recovered and scored the only touchdown they scored in the whole game. They
63
take he
passer
doesn't do
rating.
that, they win.
Drake May, 10 for 21, 86 yards,
Won the
58
game.
passer
A
rating.
dub's a dub. A dub's a dub.
Also, if Will Lutz makes a couple field goals, the
They also win the game, but that's
Broncos
beside the
win.
point. But then again, the Patriots also had a missed field goal. So if you want to play the missed field goal game,
Fair.
they would have a
It'd be
field goal and it
tight.
would still be 16-16. So
Just saying, dude, Stiddy's the next Tom Brady.
Stiddy's definitely not the next Tom Brady. Stiddy's not even going to play for his team next year.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, bro.
Okay, whatever you say, buddy.
Gosh, but yeah, and then like the NFC game was obviously like a stark contrast very different football game, and super exciting. And Kate, like that was about as good as it gets, man. Like it came down to a couple decisions that didn't go the Rams' way, and the Seahawks held on and did it, which sweet. I'm happy for you, Papa Hat. That's cool. It's cool to see your team in it. I haven't freaking felt that since I was like 10 years old.
Dude, I will say I lost my absolute mind when Rick Woolen or Woolley, whatever that corner's name is, Woolen or Woolley, I should know his name, but
He's Woolen, Reek Woolen.
Woolen, right? Rick Woolen, when he got
Yeah.
that penalty taunting the sideline, I lost my shit, bro.
And then gave up the touchdown promptly the next play.
Yeah, I was more mad about the penalty because that was fourth down.
Yeah, it would have been fourth down. Yeah.
Turnover, and then yeah, the next play, and he wasn't even close. He was like 15 yards off the guy that just ran right past him for a
Yeah.
touchdown.
Got beat on that double move very badly.
Nakua, or was it Devontae Adams?
I think it was Nakua. On the dome front, I don't. There have been some legendary snow games, so I don't want to. There have been there's what the Ice Bowl, which is but that's also I never watched that. That's just people telling me it was a legendary game, and I'm sure if we looked at the numbers, especially in that day and age in football, they might not be good numbers, but
And that
I
was a
just
championship game.
yeah, that was a championship game. And so as far as like I said, the dome thing is, I just feel like that game could have been the better game of the two, right? But they had no chance because of the storm. Now, even before that, Drake May didn't have good numbers at the end of the first half either. You know what I mean? So it's not like it was going to be a great, hard fought defensive battle. So if you like that, then you would have enjoyed the game. The second half of the game became a snowstorm. Nobody could really do anything. Bunch of missed kicks, yada yada yada. So like, I see both sides of it. I would prefer that they do domes everywhere because it's a better chance at a better product at the end of the day. Because a snowstorm game, we've seen more disaster snowstorm games than we've seen probably great snowstorm games. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of like honestly, the only true memory I could think of off the top of my head of a snowstorm game would be like there was no classic like the Stidham play was before that happened, so I wouldn't say that was like a snowstorm game. Is that Leon Lett touching the ball against Miami all those years ago on Thanksgiving, which you two might not even be old enough to remember.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't watch it, but I know what you're talking about. I remember Leon Lett.
Yeah, Leon Lett touching the ball against the Dolphins in a random snowstorm in Dallas one year on Thanksgiving. So, like I said, I see both. I get it if teams want to keep it. I just think you put a better product on the field, and a better product is what everybody wants. So I don't know if a snowstorm product is great for business, whether for anybody. You know what I mean? But I see both sides.
Yeah, because I think part of it you could almost equate it to like playing a baseball game at Coors Field versus playing one in Kansas City or something like that. Like, yeah, it'd be really exciting for baseball if every game was played at friggin' a mile high of altitude and balls were jumping out of the yard everywhere. But also like the 3-1 game is still exciting. Like that's I think the different, like these two games are, you have like a tough, like tightly contested, like 3-2, 3-1 game versus a game that finished like 11-9, 11-8.
And both games are fun. Both games are fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like I don't discount people who in baseball want to see the 11-9 game or stuff like that. I personally love a one. There's nothing like a 1-0
Yeah.
pitchers duel. I love a good pitchers duel till this date.
I do
You
not
know,
like the 11-9 game in baseball. The
okay,
pitchers are practically irrelevant at that point.
that is true. They are practically irrelevant. So like I said, I see both sides on the dome or not dome debate, and I know football is the one sport that plays in pretty much any weather, no matter what, unless it gets deemed as unsafe for the
Yeah.
players.
It was like lightning.
Yeah, but even then, we've seen people play through lightning storms in during football games. Like the only game I know of that ever got canceled because of a lightning storm was a preseason game. You know what I mean? And that was because the thunder was also right overhead. So maybe I don't know if there's been ever any times that there's been lightning overhead of a game and they kept playing.
They've had weather delays, but they just wait out the storm.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well, I mean,
even
yeah,
then,
probably with the thunder, they just wait for it to pass. So yeah.
anytime I see a weather delay at a football game, I just turn into like a freaking like 70s freaking football player where it's like, what are we doing? Why are we not playing? Come on. What are you pussies doing? Get on the field.
Well, I'm always like, what's the weather? Unless it's a hurricane, why are you stopping? I've seen you guys play through
Exactly.
a fucking blizzard before. Why are you not playing right now?
Yeah. I've seen freaking players using their freaking helmets to shovel snow so that they can freaking make a kick.
Pushing snow off of the bench so they could sit down on the cold bench where the heater is.
Dude, your boy Bart Starr had 191 yards and 2 tutties in the Ice Bowl.
Hell yeah, he did.
Who they play? Packers
Cowboys.
play the Cowgirls.
Don Meredith had 59 yards and an interception for the Cowboys.
There was a funny meme I saw on Instagram where I was like, oh, I need to send this to Marco, and then I was like, oh wait, I deleted him on everything, so I can't send it to him. But it was basically like last team's last appearance at a conference championship. It was like the last 5 years, a couple teams. You scroll back the next bunch of teams, then you go to one. It's like one team is there, and then it's like. And I think it was like the Giants because they haven't been to one in a while. And then it was like you flip and there's no thing. They're like, and then you have to flip again. They're like, promise one more screen. And then you flip. It's like we lied. There's one more after this, and then you have to flip to get to the Cowgirls.
You should send that to Marco.
I would have to unblock him, and I'm not going to do that. All right.
Dude, it's almost funnier to unblock him just to send him that.
Unblock him, send it, and then just reblock him so he can't reply to me.
Yes. Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's not a page I normally follow, so I'd have to re-find that meme just to do that. So
yeah. Well, but no, I think we had some good NFC good championship games. I feel like they were both competitive and interesting. And now I hope for the same thing in another week and a half. Ish.
Yeah.
Are you going to go, Hollywood? Have you decided?
I am not going to go. I do not want to see either one of those teams. I do not want to see the Patriots win the Super Bowl in person.
You don't even believe yourself when you say that. You don't even believe your
Patriots,
own words.
27, Seattle 14. Boom.
You don't even believe you. You're lying through your teeth right now. I'm looking at
you.
Your
know
face.
I'm lying to my teeth. How do you know who I think is going to
shit.
win the game? How do you know who I think is going to win the game?
Pats are going to win 55-0.
55-0. Damn! At least I gave you guys 14 points, bro.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Hold on. Ben always needs to know what the line is before he makes his prediction.
4.5 points.
Last I checked, it was 4.5. I think I'm thinking it'll probably be like freaking 27-24, something like that. 24-21. I think it's going to be like a 3 or 4 point game. I'm in line with Vegas. I don't think it'll be more than that. I think 27-23, 27-24, and even that's probably on the high end because I know the total's sitting at like 45, 46 and a half, somewhere around there. Um, so with that, it'll probably be like, I don't know, 24-21, somewhere around there would be my guess.
But who's winning since now we've gone down this road?
I think the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks should win. Doesn't mean they will, but I think they should.
You're giving them 4.5, like you said. Seahawks has the better defense.
I would disagree with that. The Patriots defense in the playoffs has been legit.
Yeah, the Seahawks are freaking on like a generational run this
Yeah,
season.
the Seahawks defense is good except for the two games against has been good slash no they got blown out by the Bucks except for 3 games they've been great. I'm not going to argue against that premise. I just think playoff wise I would say right now after especially with what we just saw like I mean Drake may if you
Dude,
get
the
to
Rams
Drake May
had the best offense throughout the whole season. It was literally the best
so
defense versus the best offense. Of course,
so
the
so
offense is going to score.
so So, like, that's not an argument. You can't say, "Oh, they have the best defense." Oh, but it's okay for that team to line them up. That's not it. That's you can't have it both ways. I'm
Did
just
they
saying
get
the
lit
Rams
up?
defense lit
I
them
wouldn't
up.
even call it lit up. They gave up a few tutties, like against the best offense in the league.
37 points is getting lit up. Just because you won the game doesn't mean your defense didn't get lit up in the game. The first game, the second of the 3 games. This one you gave up what 20 something points?
27.
Was it 27?
27.
Yeah, because it was
Yep.
what 30, 31-27.
Yeah, 31-27. 27 is essentially 4 tutties minus an extra point. I'm not saying they got 4 tutties. I'm just saying that as a number.
Yeah,
I would say that's borderline lit up at 28 points. Borderline.
I wouldn't
And
say
they
it's
got
lit
and they
up
got lit up by the Bucks this year.
because I would say that like on if you give up somewhere around like 20-21 points, like that's a pretty like average defensive showing.
Yeah.
And so like then you factor in, they held them to a couple field goals instead of more like I mean, they did enough. Like, and it's really,
Oh no, they absolutely did enough, and that is the other side of it. It's they gave up 37 points in the other game in that second game, but they won 38. I'm just saying their defense, did enough to win the game. You know, but they also that 2 point conversion goes the other way, they lose.
If Rick Woolen doesn't give the Rams a second life, he probably doesn't get a ball thrown over his head, and they only
That's
score
also
2
true.
points.
That could also flip, but that changes everything. You don't know what that would have done because maybe the Rams get a pick six the next play, et cetera. Like a million things could happen. So I do agree with that, but it's also what happens next. It doesn't. You can't just take points off and say, "Well, that touchdown doesn't go on the board if he's not an idiot." You're right; it gets taken off if he's not an idiot. But the Rams could have gone for it. They could have faked it, scored a touchdown. There's a million things that could have happened. They could have punted. Shaheed fumbles at the 2 because he decides to be an idiot and try to field the ball at the 2, drops it. They recover. You know what I mean? A million things could happen. So
I think that the Seahawks are going to win by 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. However, my big question is the Sam Darnold question. Again, he had literally the best game of his entire life. He needed to against the Rams. Can he repeat that level of performance? I don't think so. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to hold his own, and he's going to have to be competitive in order for the Seahawks to win. But if he just shits the bed and throws like 4 picks, we're cooked. I think that's the only way the Patriots win is if uh, Sam Darnold's evil twin shows up.
you start seeing ghosts.
He starts seeing ghosts. Yes.
I would say that the Patriots have more of a chance than people think than they should. People think they should. I think it really gets down to, and it's kind of funny with the Rams, where everybody I saw taking the Rams or wanted the Rams to win or thought the Rams would win, were all banking off of the old Rams defense, the Rams defense that was in the beginning of the year, not the Rams defense they were at the end. So Drake May, we obviously know he was an MVP candidate. Could maybe win the MVP. He's going to either win the MVP or come in second place, which means he had a great regular season. If that Drake May shows up in the Super Bowl, I think the Patriots have a better chance than people think they think they would. If the Drake May that's been playing in the playoffs shows up, then yes, I would probably think it would take Sam Darnold going pumpkin mode, as they like to call it, for him to for the Patriots to have a real chance.
Sam Darnold goes pumpkin mode, dude.
That's what they. That's what first calls it when quarterback plays badly or was playing good and then stops. They call it pumpkin mode.
It's funny.
Why? Well, I don't get that.
I think it's. I don't know it 100%, but I think it's like Cinderella, the belle of the ball, but then it turns back into a pumpkin. Kind of the same.
Gotcha.
Kind of the same thing. So they call it pumpkin mode, and like this year they kept talking about, well, when is Daniel Jones going to go pumpkin mode? When is Gino for you guys last few years? They're like, oh, when is he going to go pumpkin mode? And now that he was on the Raiders and was garbage on the Raiders, they're like, oh, he went back to pumpkin mode.
Yeah, when the magic wears off.
Yeah.
The Patriots had the third easiest schedule this season.
They did.
Second easiest schedule this season.
They also had defense playing defensive wise, and if you guys want to keep talking about defenses and how they beat the Houston defense, which you guys kept telling me was legendary, and other people want to say is legendary. The Denver defense.
I don't think those words ever came out of my mouth. I don't think I ever said the Houston defense was legendary.
It's very good. Their offense just fucking sucks.
Yeah. And then the Broncos defense. So like defensive wise, they've been beating some really good defenses. And Chargers had a good defense this year too.
They barely beat the Broncos defense. I don't think you can even say they outlasted the Broncos in a snowy game.
You could say the same thing about you guys 2 weeks ago, or against the Rams all those weeks ago that flipped you guys to the 1 seed. We could keep arguing the same semantically, bro.
So your pick is genuinely and authentically the Patriots?
I haven't made a real decision yet.
That's it.
I got 2 weeks, bro. I can change my mind.
You have basically 1 week.
That's
9
true.
days.
I guess it's the end of the week.
9 days. 9 days.
I will say this. Whichever Sam Darnold shows up will be a big indication of what happens in that game. That is the honest take I could say about the game. What Sam Darnold is going to show up. And it goes from there. If even the Sam Darnold that showed up, again, I know I keep talking about the second Rams game, but if like the first half of that game, Sam Darnold was not good, and the Rams did a bad job. Well, I don't want to say did a bad job. They gave up that punt return that kind of flipped that game, which, again, could happen in the Super Bowl. Even though the Patriots are doing good, they could kick it to Shaheed, thinking they're fine. Shaheed returns one for a tutty on them, too. But it really is what Darnold shows up. If the Darnold from last week shows up, that is a very, very scary team. If it's the Darnold that I've known for most of my life, a different story.
Yeah, I think the first quarter will be super interesting. Just seeing like his poise. The thing is I think we'll see really early on
Same thing with Drake May, because Drake May has not looked good either. So who's to say the nerves won't get to Drake May? Like I don't want to just say it's all on your boy. It's like, what if Drake May shows up and it's still playing like trash, Yeah,
and I almost think there's more on the Seattle O-line than Sam Darnold. Because I think if Sam Darnold is trusting his offensive line, he's going to stand back there and he's going to make good throws. Because it's not like a athletic thing. It's just is he going to get in his own head because he's getting his ass kicked? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
but like I said, I'm feeling pretty confident. I think it's going to be, by a couple of tutties. I hope it's a close game. I will always stand by, even when it's my own team. I still want it to be a competitive game, which I know you disagree with, Hollywood. You would rather the 49ers be in the Super Bowl and win by 40 points.
No, no, no.
I want a good game, and I hope it's competitive. And
Well,
I
no, no.
hope,
For my nerves, I would want a blowout. But like for the viewing public, I know that's not. But like to me, it should be like, yeah, I want my team to blow them out. Like I don't have a problem with you. Like to me, 14 points is arguably a blowout in the NFL. I don't really see it as a blowout personally because of one touch. All they have to do is score one touchdown, and then they're only behind by like to me, it's three possessions is a blowout in my opinion. But even if field goals like 17 points isn't a true, or I guess you could be up 16 points with a safety. I don't think those are true blowouts because one touchdown flips the game back. You know what I mean?
right,
So,
right.
but I know some people see it the other way.
Yeah, I
But
would say I'm expecting like a one possession game from this.
I think it'll be. I think it's going to be a closer game than people think. I'd be shocked if it ends up being a blowout. Either way, to be honest with you.
All right. Final thoughts, hot takes. How do you want to take us home, Holly Hat?
Well, you guys didn't say anything about Belichick. You just kept asking me questions about it. So you guys should give your Belichick takes.
Oh, no, I ended that. I thought I ended that pretty firmly. We all agree Bill Belichick is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and the NFL Hall of Fame voters have zero clue what the hell they're doing. Like
Well, no, no.
it's
So for
I
for
was
the
asking you
record,
questions to.
this is the senior committee. This isn't the NFL voters. Just for the record.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know enough about how the NFL Hall of Fame voting works. So the senior
So
committee
yeah.
can just virtually decide if people are first ballot Hall of Famers or not. Like,
Well, so for coaches and owners, they go to a different thing. So I think coaches used to go to the writers, but they were getting passed over because like Joe Gibbs isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, and obviously you said Vince Lombardi wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer when we talked about that earlier. So I think at some point they took the players and the coaches out of it and made them as part of the veterans, like baseball how they have the veterans committee. It's essentially the same thing. So like the players up are like Roger Craig, who ran out of eligibility, Ken Anderson, and I can't remember the third guy that a lot of people voted for. But the owners and the coaches are now in that pool. So there's 50 people. Well, I guess there's 50 voters, and those people vote for those candidates, and that's how you get in if you're a coach or not. But I know the coaches used to go through the other thing. So technically, it's a different process than like a Tom Brady goes through now for Belichick, but this would have been the equivalent of being a first ballot Hall of Famer was getting voted in by this group, and they did not vote in Belichick.
probably because of his hot girlfriend, dude.
Maybe
Yeah, they're all just jealous.
they're jealous that they can't bag a 36-year-old or however old she is.
I think she's
I actually
younger than
don't even
that.
know if they're still together or not. But if
No,
it's
they're still together.
they're still together, because if it's like an old group of like, old white men who are all cranky and getting pudding fed to them in their senior homes, like I could see them all holding that against Bill, that he has a young girlfriend. They're just like, nah, screw this guy.
Oh wow, you are right, Doug. She's 24. I way overshot that.
Yeah, like she's young.
I knew she was young. And maybe I knew she was that young. I just didn't think she was that young. Or yeah,
So my take was what I said. Bill Belichick is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Nug, I don't think disagrees.
I do
I hope
not.
you do.
I do not. I do not. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He should be in there. Because also, like, I don't freaking on some level, like, I don't know. I think when you're trying to think how to put it. Like when your record reaches like such an undeniable level of like accomplishment, I almost think that like certain things you did that people didn't like, I feel like they become less important. Like and I feel like I feel the same way about like steroid guys in baseball and just that thing of like, yeah, like sure they did something they shouldn't have, but also like that doesn't just automatically get you 8 Super Bowls. Like you still gotta be doing something right, and he certainly did a lot of right in his career, and he'll get his bust, but it's gonna have to wait.
It's gonna have to wait. Yeah. Barry Bonds not being in the Hall of Fame is a joke. Bill Belichick
That
not
it
being a
is.
first ballot Hall of Famer is a joke. All right. Any other hot takes, Holly Hat?
Nope.
What is this? Episode 10?
I don't know. I don't remember.
10 or 12, something
I
like
think
that.
it's 10. I think it's 10. Yeah.
I think it's 10. I think they said once you get to 21 episodes, you're a top 1% podcast in the world.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that.
We're almost halfway there. I think we should start sending out topics lists. We need a graphics guy to start making graphics for our topics. What's Ike
Yeah.
doing these days? Can you recruit your brother to be our graphics guy?
Think you could do anything at all?
No, not wrong brother, dude. I'm talking about Ali.
Oh, that brother, my stepbrother. I don't really. He doesn't really reply to my text messages, so probably not. Then again, I don't actually text him, so you know.
See, it's a two-way street.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
All right, go ice that knee, Ben.
Oh yeah, dude. We're gonna get on it. Feels okay. Feels okay. Doesn't feel great, but it feels okay. I think I'll live.
Just talk some more sports to your knee. It'll pep it right up.
I'll whisper sweet nothings to it, dude. It'll be okay.
All right. See you, gents, on the flip side. Most you
Still
love
love
you.
you.
Love you, miss you.
Bye.